Hey, Bright Lights, welcome back to the Space Doctor series on the Architecting channel. My name is Angela, and I am an architect and feng shui practitioner who has made it my mission to demystify the science behind design for well-being. And if you're thinking, well, I'm not an architect and I'm not an interior designer, don't worry. I really want to give everyone the language. I've done the research so you don't have to make it simple and easy to apply this work to your home, your office, your community. And if you are a design professional, a better way to talk with your clients and get better outcomes for the people that are going to be using the spaces that you design. So to make this easy to understand and fun to do, I've developed a deck of cards that deal with this important issue of something called salutogenesis, which is Latin for health generating. And the deck has two parts. Foundational concepts. This is the research behind what creates well-being or takes it away from us. And then I pair that with the other section of the deck where most of the cards are, which are 5 theories that form the core aspects of salutogenesis. I've paired each of these theories up with an element from feng shui just to help reinforce that understanding. We all learn in different ways, and I really want this to be easy to remember and understand. And that is why you want to make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm on here every week, but I also do bonus episodes. Just did predictions for March. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. But also make sure that you engage in the community. I love hearing what you're thinking and how you are using what you are learning. So if you're ready, let's get started. The first card, as always, comes from the foundational aspects part of the deck. And today we have resources to cope. And you could see this deck of cards. If you've ever tried to build a deck of cards, you know how easy it is for them to fall down. Why is that? They don't have a strong foundation. They're very tenuously balanced. And that can be a real issue in our own lives when we don't have stability. Now, in past episodes, I've drawn this card before and I've talked about those resources in terms of our physical environment. But today I'm going to talk about them in a different way. Told you want to make sure to stay tuned every time. And this is the social resources that we have to cope. So in today's world, loneliness is a true epidemic. There have been a lot of articles out there talking about the research behind loneliness and the fact that it can be so detrimental as to shorten your lifespan. There have been studies around having more social connections and the benefits that has to our physical and mental health, whether that's having someone to check on you, to notice when you haven't shown up and you're a regular someplace, or to check in with someone to talk to when you're having a problem, or to share a big win or a big accomplishment or your hopes or your fears with. As human beings, we need our social connections in order to thrive. So think about your own life. Think about how you are physically connecting with other human beings in that life. And this takes a little bit more effort in the modern world because so many of us are very isolated. We might be working from home and no longer seeing people in an office every day. We are behind screens so much of the time that even when we are in a public space, we're looking at the screen instead of at the world around us. So how can we be more mindful? How can we make a conscious effort to get out to public spaces, to be engaged, to volunteer for different things with other organizations, to get to know people and to be connected in our communities. That is very, very important for our well-being. Now, the card that I drew that pairs with this comes from the Prospect and Refuge part of the deck. Prospect and Refuge is associated with the feng shui element of earth. So we are talking about security, stability, predictability, solidity, and the particular card that I drew deals with the issue of focal points. Now you can see this card is showing us an amphitheater in a park where there's a casual concert going on. And that is really what a focal point is, right? It is something that is in a public place that is a magnet for gathering. And what's important here is that there can be events that are scheduled, but you can also informally be in this place and you can choose your level of social interaction. So you can be there by yourself, you can be there with a group, but regardless, you are out there in community. You are seeing, you are being seen, you are around other people, you are noticing other people. And this sense of community is part of Prospect and Refuge because it is associated with feeling safe and secure. Those social connections do that, and community gatherings provide that. There have even been studies in Japan with the aging population that shows having these focal points for community gathering can help with functional disability, and it fosters well-being specifically through physical and cognitive health, through socialization, but also through what they called prosocial and altruistic behavior. That means I'm willing to help other people. I'm willing to volunteer. I feel engaged and connected and part of this community. And you may have heard the term third places. That comes from the work of Ray Oldenburg, who studied this specifically. And he did a little more deep digging into this idea of the focal points and what physical characteristics that they should have. And according to his work, it needs to be a place that is public or semi public. So it could be a place of business like a cafe, but somewhere that has regular, voluntary, and happily anticipated activities that are associated with it. So it could be something like a community garden. These have been shown to really pull neighborhoods together, to help them feel allied, to help strengthen the sense of community, as well as the social benefits that the neighbors get. There is a whole initiative in Paris where they've created different kinds of community gardens. So some grow flowers, some grow vegetables, and they're networked together so that a garden may serve a given neighborhood, but they link together within a larger community, encouraging people to get out more, to walk more, to socialize more. And they've seen some really not only social benefits, but health outcomes are better. This is how important it is. So, when we think about this from a design perspective and we pair resources to cope, thinking specifically again about our social resources with focal points, those opportunities for gathering, what do we get? Well, I want you to think about everything from your front porch. Yes, your front porch is a buffer zone. It is a way that you are interacting with your community if you're sitting out there, to your streetscape in your own neighborhood. Maybe there's some benches for gathering or a playground or somebody that likes to host social activities. I know in my neighborhood for Memorial Day weekend, we always have a big get together at the end of the street, and everyone brings chairs and it's a potluck and we just hang out together and it's kind of fun. Whether that might be a walking path or a park, anything like that in your community that you could advocate to have maybe more seating in it or plan some events to take place so people have a real reason to get together and to socialize in this space. Where can we think about more opportunities to have seating opportunities or something to look at or something to do together? So it could be a concert in an amphitheater like you see on the card, or when it's not a concert, it's just a nice, pleasant place to sit and hang out and do something together. So remember to like and subscribe if you found value in this, because I will be coming back at you next week with even more good information. Make sure to leave a message in the comments to let me know what you learned and how you're using it. And if you are an architect, a landscape architect, a city planner, an interior designer, anybody who has a role in creating semi-public or public spaces, make sure you are talking about this with your clients. Make sure they understand the importance of social interaction and focal points. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.